Now, one game that actually wasn't on that list, but I said, it's a 12 o'clock game with number one ranked team in the country. We got to talk about it, is Clemson Tigers at Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. So we are going to talk about that, but that wasn't one of the games that they sent to me saying, I like a spot on this one. So just a heads up there. Clemson coming off an easy 42-17 win at home over then 7th-ranked Miami, averaging 216 more yards of offense than their opposition, allowing just 13.3 points per game. Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne look dynamite. And then on the other side of the field, after back-to-back losses to UCF and Syracuse, Georgia Tech looked really good in their 46-27 home victory over Louisville. Here we go. This starts off Saturday football action. Let's go with John Ryan. Clemson Tigers, Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
The Clemson Tigers are definitely the number one team in the country. I have enough data now in this season to be able to project that and also, confirm it. So that victory was a very strong one. They just wore Miami down. Miami actually appeared to be intimidated right from the opening series. And it was just a grind, just like we're used to seeing Clemson do to opponents that think they're equals to them and want to try to take them down. The opponent finds out that after not even a quarter and a half, it's the other way around. And Clemson just enacts their will on an opponent. And you saw it again. I thought going into the game, Miami was a bit overvalued, a bit ahead of itself because of the incredible start, especially with their transfer quarterback who came from Houston. He's had an awesome year. He's in the Heisman Circle conversations, and they're going to be fine. It's just one loss on the card, but in a short season, one loss is everything. But Clemson does rank in the ACC standings, ranks number one across the board in a lot of different categories that I track. Efficiency on offense, yards per point. Trevor Lawrence is averaging 310 per game. The team is averaging 3 receiving touchdowns a game. Total offense, 496 a game at, a shade under 500. And I'll just stop there for the offensive side. On defense, Clemson's number one across the board again in the ACC. And I guess it's not surprising. Notre Dame is third on the list in defense. But when you put in ratios that I use to equate the strength of schedule to the opponents played, Clemson's way ahead, even on the defensive end. So it's very hard, even with 27.5 points, to bet against Clemson, and I would recommend not doing it. I know there was times 10 years ago that I learned that lesson where, you get a team that's on a roll and they keep climbing the standings. They're finally number one. That doesn't mean you go fade them. And that can be a dangerous method of betting. In this game, I actually like the under, and I have 2 systems actually I can pass out on. Well, the one system is actually on Clemson, so I'll just quickly read that one off. You're going to play on favorites, big ones of 21.5 to 31.5 points, with an excellent first half defense. It's allowing 8 or fewer points per game in the first half, and after 3 straight wins by 17 or more points. So for those that have been listening to me for a while, there's certain numbers I mentioned over and over again. It's like 17-point differentials, 28 points scored, 8 or fewer points in the first half. Those numbers keep coming up again and again and again, and it's for good reason. This system is 13-4 the last 3 seasons. And then the under, Clemson's defense, and this is from the machine learning stuff, is going to hold Georgia Tech to less than 4.5 yards per play, not per run. So that's a very low number. In games that Clemson has played where they have held an opponent to 4.5 or less yards per play, they're 30-10 to the under for 75% winners. And that goes over the last 10 years. When they hold an opponent to 300 or less total offensive yards. 7-1 under last 3 years. 12-29. I'm reading it backwards because I do the overs first, like you guys do. It's 27-11 to the under when they hold an opponent to less than 300 yards. So in this game, I like the under quite a bit. I think both sides of the ball, Clemson will just absolutely dominate it.
And that's a feel on Viper NB as well. Let's move up to, well, if we're talking unders, why don't we go with Nolly Knows next? Nolly, what do you think of backing this under? Being very little movement. A half point at some books, none at others. Bet 365 opened it at 60.5 minus 110. It's still there. What do you think of the under here, Nolly?
I mean, I would understand that. I mean, you got a Clemson team 3-1 to the under, and a dominant defense, and a team that pretty much will hold Georgia Tech down. You look at the score last year, 52-14, and that would be an over, and they've gone over the last 2 years. But this year, it seems like they've been taking their foot off the gas. They've only been able to cover the large number once, and that was last week when it went down to 14. So, I mean, I think it's difficult just the way that they're able to score at will. It's just pretty much if they want to keep scoring is what I'm going to be betting on. So I lay off.
A layoff there. What do you think, CMac? This is a spot where the total is 60.5, and Clemson opened up at minus 27 at bet 365, down to 26.5.
Yeah, I'm right on with Nolly. It just depends how Clemson wants to play. If they want to just throttle them and keep rolling, or let off their foot off it, and Georgia Tech could get a backdoor cover. So I want nothing to do with it. Clemson, I think, is the best team in the country. They showed it again against Miami, and the total, like Nolly said, they could score 50 and it could be 14, it'd be over. So I don't like that either. So total pass. I mean, if you like Clemson so much, kind of like I like Bama over the years, take them first half. I saw Greg in the chat do that. They usually come out roaring. Usually, they're up 28-0 or something like that, and then they fade. Bring in the second string. So that'd be my only look is Clemson first half. The lean, if you want to take that, which is probably 14, right?
I'll pull it up right now, but I think Dennis is bang on, and it was in Beachbot says you have to compare Georgia Tech and Miami, and I don't think you really do here. At first, I was like, you're right, of course, but then Dennis is right. Clemson was up for that game against Miami. You had this upstart Hurricane team with the Air King, getting a lot of media attention. They were up for that game and they smashed them. And then here you have Clemson against the Georgia Tech team. It's minus 14.5.
Yeah. Okay.
Minus 14.5, and then you have a Georgia Tech team that they know is weak.